Hi everyone. In this video, we're excited to share our work, Some Parts, benchmarking part-level semantic segmentation of urban meshes. With the growing availability of detailed 3D urban data, like point clouds and textured meshes, we can create better renderings and simulations of large urban environments. For example, Google photorealistic 3D maps visualize over 2,500 cities across 49 countries. Our goal is to create semantic urban meshes by assigning predefined labels to mesh triangles, like terrain, building, water, etc., and to mesh texture pixels, such as windows and doors, since they're better represented in texture images than in irregular mesh faces. Traditional interactive image segmentation methods require significant user input or falter with complex images, while deep learning models depend on large datasets and may not handle unseen categories well. Our interactive annotation method for mesh texture images overcomes these limitations, offering greater generalizability without extensive training data. Existing 3D annotation methods are labor-intensive, error-prone, or need large datasets and struggle with new data. Our unsupervised approach requires no prior labeling, works independently of original images, and uses approximate user selections and template matching to enhance efficiency and accuracy in complex 3D scenes. Current 3D urban datasets lack fine-grained, part-level semantics essential for comprehensive analysis. Point clouds suffer from low resolution and occlusions, and existing mesh datasets often lack detailed annotations and overlook rich texture information. To fill these gaps, we've introduced the first large-scale, part-level benchmark dataset for urban meshes. We annotated 3 representative areas in central Helsinki, covering about 2.5 square kilometers. Annotating large-scale urban meshes is challenging. Existing segment-based mesh annotation methods run into problems with over-segmented urban textured meshes. They struggle with non-planar areas, sharp features, and small structures due to under- or over-segmentation errors. While selecting segments is more efficient than picking individual mesh faces, annotating complex objects like building blocks or large trees still requires a lot of effort. We start by breaking down the input mesh into planar segments using region growing. Then, we efficiently identify protrusions that aren't part of the main plane through interactive selection. We distinguish them based on differences like the maximum distance from a face to the support plane, the minimum angle between face normals and the support plane, and local geometric consistency. This helps us formulate a binary labeling problem to separate these differences. For the separate planar segments, we aim to better annotate them by identifying similarities based on geometric and photometric features. We also propose template matching for protrusions based on user-extracted examples. We break down the template and match it with other seed segments using a feature vector. Then, we expand these seed segments into protrusions within spatial, scale, and topological constraints. Finally, we perform protrusion matching based on structural features. Here's a demo of our face-based annotation methods. We can easily annotate repetitive structures like chimneys, balconies, and even cars. We can also separate trees from large planar surfaces with a simple stroke. Our planar segment template matching helps us annotate man-made structures like roofs and facades more efficiently. Texture-based annotation captures more details than just triangles. However, directly labeling 3D textures involves many inefficient 2D-3D conversions. Labeling small texture segments in 2D texture images is tough, especially since objects we need to annotate often have complex boundaries and lots of repetitive structures, making the labeling work burdensome. We propose a mesh texture annotation strategy based on planar segments, allowing for flexible splitting and merging. After obtaining the planar texture segments, we capture the region of interest through user clicks. We first generate superpixels and build a GMM model for the user-clicked superpixel. Then, we compare it with neighboring superpixels based on Wasserstein distance and local color consistency using SEED 2000. We expand to similar superpixels to get a coarse segmentation. Then, we use the positive samples and samples from the optimal bounding box to apply graph cut for fine segmentation. We also propose 2D template matching. We use a user-extracted regions GMM to compare with candidate SEED superpixels. The matched ones are expanded into regions. Then, we compare and match all regions with the templates based on structural features and scale constraints. Here's a demo of our texture-based annotation methods. We can easily annotate repetitive structures like facade windows and road markings with just a few clicks, as well as objects with complex boundaries like grasslands. Here are our final annotated results. The input is the textured meshes, the wireframe mesh shows geometry, the last row shows the face-based and texture pixel-based semantic urban meshes. We also present results from state-of-the-art 3D semantic segmentation methods for both face and pixel labels. Here's a comparison of face-based interactive annotation methods. As you can see, our method is more efficient than the others. And here's a comparison of interactive texture annotation methods. Our method generates more accurate boundaries using templates and has efficiency comparable to deep learning-based methods. Our annotation tool can also be applied to large indoor mesh annotations, compact building models, and even images. Thank you for watching.